Hey everyone, in today's video what we're going to be going through is creating a rose for a keychain, and we're going to be planning to print that out. So that's what we'll be working on. Hopefully we'll be successful at that. Alright, and with that, let's get creative and cue the intro. Hey guys, welcome to Glennon Studios. Today we're going to be creating a rose. Excuse me, a keychain to be precise. So the program we'll be using is ZBrush Core. It's not the full-blown ZBrush, it's a stripped-down version of it. It's kind of a nice little program, pretty cheap for what you get. I mean, actually, it's a really great deal for what you get. Yes, I know it's a paid program, but it's worth the $150, especially if you're new to sculpting digitally. So anyways, what's going on here is I'm going to start by looking at some references. Yeah, we all know what roses look like and stuff like that, and I know I'm going for a stylized rose, but at the same time, you do want to take a look at references. Because, I mean, for very obvious reasons, regardless if you know what it looks like or not, how much you claim you know how something looks like, there are going to be slight differences to what you see and what reality is. So right now what you're seeing me trying to do is figure out a way to view everything so I have a good reference point of view. Ultimately, you'll see that I just decide to hide it completely behind it, and you'll see me pop back and forth every so often to look at my reference. Unfortunately, currently I only have one monitor, and that's the one I'm looking at, and that's my drawing tablet. So that's how that works. You know, as you can see, I've been doing some pulling and pushing just to start building up the shape of the rose. I'm just starting to build the basic shape, and we're going to start digging into that. Now, I'm not going to go into detail exactly what I'm doing. This video has actually been sped up quite a bit to 20 minutes. It took me about 2 to 2.5 hours to actually produce this for 3D printing. I printed one that was reasonably successful, but not enough detail. That's not something we're going to be going into in this video. That'll be either the next one or the one after that. I'm not sure yet. I will need to go back into it. I don't have time at the moment, so it may not be this week that I go back into this project. I have another project that I need to get done that is not connected to this stuff, where I might show you the end results, but I'm not recording any of the video for that. So anyways, back to this project. This project, it's just going to be a simple keyring where it's going to connect the keyring part itself is going to connect through a loop at the stem. Excuse me. It's kind of stuffy around here, so sorry about that. Anyways, let's talk a little about the program, I guess. You guys need to tell me what you're looking to find out. Will help at this point. So I'm building up, as you can see, I'm building up layers to get the basic shape and the form and start pulling out the individual leaves, or petals in this case. And you'll see that I go back between a couple different brushes. I don't really use a lot of the other ones because for this particular project, they're not going to offer any extra detail that will be utilized. So you'll see me use the basic brushes at this point. And anyways, if you're new to sculpting, especially digital sculpting, this is actually a really good program to start off with. I know there are these free versions. I've tried multiple free versions. I've tried Blender, which their sculpting into things really isn't there. You can do it. It's just not there. You can't. It's not easily done. And Blender's got this really complicated interface to begin with. Now, with that said, there are free sculpting programs, but they aren't supported. I can't think of the name. It's like Sculptress or something. It's okay. It works. It does the job, but it's very limited, and it doesn't have a satisfied feel to it. Now, why do I say start with this if you're new to digital sculpting? Well, yeah, I know it's $150, but that's really pretty cheap for what it's offering. This is a proven interface that works, and it's a proven program that works. It's just stripped down tremendously. I think Pixelogic did a smart thing here in offering a a hobbyist grade, I'd say, or an entry-level grade program. So once I can tell you, once I'm comfortable enough utilizing this to the point where I'm doing some pretty crazy, nifty stuff with it, then it's time to move to the full version of ZBrush. But right now, this is really an ideal program because as you can see, I'm selecting stuff. I'm able to push and pull very easily. The 3D environment is very comfortable once you get used to it. There's the other problem. Speaking of getting used to the environments, this environment is complex. It's overwhelming. But I'm talking about the full version of ZBrush here. Now, this version, because there's less stuff, less things to mess around with, less shortcuts and this and that, it's a great starting point. It's a fantastic starting point for people who don't know what they're doing yet. It's great. You can go into play and just play around. If you have a Cintiq, a Wacom tablet of some kind, even the Bamboo would work. Doesn't even matter. Or if you're really daring, you can use a mouse. Just keep in mind that the mouse doesn't have the pressure sensitivity that you'd be looking for. But yeah, it all works. It works pretty nicely. You have a couple options as far as exporting out, but that's pretty limited to STL files and OBJ files. You can save them in a ZBrush format. So if you wanted to eventually upgrade to the full version of ZBrush, it's not going to be a problem to bring your old models in and be able to work with them in the full version of ZBrush, which I've seen that to be a challenge with a lot of programs that are basic and need to be, they have a professional version and a basic version that don't really communicate or are compatible with each other very well. So yeah, it's a fun program to play with. This is a blast to play with. Even if you're making a little rose like this was really a lot of fun to do. I've done a little troll, which was kind of fun to do. I'll be doing that soon as I can do the voiceover for that. I'll be posting that. And then I did a bear too. I forget which one. One of those is meant to be a tutorial. I forget which one it is. Like I said, I haven't done the voiceovers for them yet, and I haven't assembled the videos yet. And those guys took a little bit longer. Pixelogic actually did something smart, and they also added their Z-spheres. It's basically their underskeleton. That's fantastic to use, and you're able to do quite a bit with that. Again, it's limited to... There's some things that are stripped down that the full version of ZBrush can do that can't. But that's okay. If you're new and you're trying to get involved into this is really the best way to starting off. I had tried the full version of ZBrush. I got overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed and lost. One of the problems is I'm working on a really small screen and there's a lot of small text that it's just uneligible. You can't read it. And the pressure sensitivity in the pen interaction does not work when you upscale using the OS upscale that Microsoft offers. It actually the drivers aren't incompatible when you increase the font sizes through the system. So you have to have them as well. So what I've been doing to really learn is I'll use like the magnifying glass that is offered, and that does help a little bit. It's still a headache to use, but it's an option. But for as well with that all that said, I'd say for a $150 version of this fantastic software, it is offering a lot for the money. They really thought it through. They really trimmed it down in the right spots. You can do quite a bit, but you're also, it's also limiting, obviously, because it's a simpler version than the full version. There are glitches here and there that I've come across. Like one day it was acting like it was a 2.5D program, what ZBrush originally was, which was a glitch. There's no way of getting out of that. And then occasionally you'll see these duplicates things that in ZBrush you can clear, but in this version you can't clear. It's just a glitch that they overlooked. It doesn't happen to me in this program. I mean, in the Rose, but in other programs, not programs, in the other ones. I think the Beard it happened, and even in the Troll it happened. So you'll see that when I get to it. And with that, as you can see, I'm making some nice progress here on the Rose. It's starting to have the shape, the feel, and it doesn't quite have the details, but definitely has a feel of a flower, and it feels like it's starting to move along. So, yeah. Now this you can do dynamic mesh, or you can do subdivision mesh. I primarily use the dynamic mesh. You can kind of use them in tangent or together, but not really. They're not really designed to work together. But you can use them to some extent together. Like you can work with dynamic mesh, and when you start getting where you want move, and you need to use some of the features that you can't do with dynamic meshing with subdivision. You can do that. That's usually fine. It's harder to go in the other direction, but in that direction it does work well. Now, as you can see, I'm still working on the petals, and I do a lot of smoothing to get this right, and I do a lot of pushing or pulling with the clay, or sculpting with the clay using the sculpt brush. Yeah. So, with that said, as we make progress here, let's talk a little bit about my goals here. My goal here is to, do something kind of fun, do something definitely creative, fun. Yeah, I'd say fun, creative. This channel really, I want to direct it towards the creativity, so like eventually when I have the space, I want to get into painting with you guys, actual physical painting. I want to make relationships between traditional art and today's modern digital art. Why I don't think traditional art's going away anytime soon, because it is still, in my opinion, really strongly connected, and there's something to be said about a physical drawing, or have that physical feel of the clay, or running an actual physical paintbrush over a canvas. The feel is completely different than a stagnant pen touching a screen or a tablet. But the things that you can do with digital, oh my head, it's amazing. Like things you can do in Photoshop are crazy. The things you can do in this program is stunning. And which, if you were to do it in real life, it'd be really difficult. Not impossible, but really hard, and take a lot more work to do. So, anyways, that's where we're at. Now, my ultimate goal, like I said, is to print this out for a keychain. Unfortunately, where I've left it so far, the detail isn't deep enough or strong enough to support the printer resolution. So I will be going back into that in the future to correct that. Now, hopefully, my goal here is to get another video up next week as well. So, with that said, please leave me a comment down below telling me what you thought was good about this, what you didn't think was so good about this. Part of this I'm starting this just now. I've messed around with it a little bit in the past couple of years, but my goal here is to actually start producing one video a week. What I want from you guys is ideas of topics, ideas of creating. No, keep in mind, we can go in the route of 3D printing. I do have a 3D printer. One of my ideas is to make a chess set. Another idea is to actually take part in the OpenRC challenge and go that route. All right? So let me know what you guys think. I have one other project I have to do before I come back to this one. That project I will be recording. It's going to be a couple boots, a keychain. It'll be another keychain. It's going to be designed for a dual extrusion print. So yeah, that's going to be the goal on the next project here. It's going to be like a pair of boots. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but that's what the project is. My wife needs a pair of boots as a keychain for an upcoming event. So my plan is to make a pair of boots. A pair of, not just like any boots, they're cowboy boots for an upcoming trip that she's doing. Then I think after that, I want to either do the OpenRC challenge or start making or designing a maker's coin to be printed. Let me know which one you think would be more interesting to see. Me designing a maker coin in Fusioner 360, or me creating an OpenRC, participating, I wouldn't say create, well, yeah, because it is create. But anyways, taking part in the OpenRC thing, which I think would be a blast. Now with that, I would be taking what somebody's already done, understanding what they've done, and then throwing that all out completely and designing my own. Because I've seen these Google cars that are, I think it's Google, I'm not sure. NVIDIA, I think, has one. Google has their own. They're racing cars that there are no actual physical people in. I want to take the look of that and translate it down to an RC car, along with probably adding a cockpit, just because I can. I think it'd be fun. Let me know what you think of that too, and we'll go from there. You guys tell me what you want to see, and we'll start from at that point. And then, if you guys like this, and we'll do other things. Well, I think this could be a lot of fun. My idea is, if we're going to do a 3D print, we need to create it ourselves. So from start to finish. I think that this way we all learn something, including me. With that, you guys hopefully learn something, and hopefully you're entertained by it. That'd be fantastic. All right. Now with that thought in your mind, I'm going to start wrapping this up because the video is almost done. As you can see, the rose is getting close to being completed. And it's starting to really look like a rose. Still a long ways to go. Still a lot of smoothing. Still a lot of this and that. But you'll see the progress go pretty quickly at this point. Now, please subscribe. Hit that little bell. Let me know if you like this video. That'd be fantastic. If you didn't like it, that's cool too. I don't mind. I get it. It's not everybody's taste. Now, again, let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see and how you'd like me to approach this. Again, this took me over 2 hours to do. I condensed it down to a 20-minute video, and I think any more than that would be just way too exhausting. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day. Do something fun and creative, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.